The other day, I was scrolling through Facebook for some reason, and I stumbled across this post that said Happy Gilmore 2 is teeing off on Netflix in 2025. To which I immediately thought to myself, see, this is why I don't go on Facebook. So much fake news, clickbait articles, and everyone from my high school getting married and having children. However, much to my surprise, this was a real article. And Happy Gilmore 2 is actually coming out this year. Which made me also realize I have never seen the original Happy Gilmore yet. And every time someone says how much they love Happy Gilmore, I kind of just go along with it. Because if I say I haven't seen it, they always go, oh, bro, you gotta watch it. Dude, you gotta watch it tonight. That realization led me to think, I haven't seen most Adam Sandler movies apart from like Just Go With It, Grown Ups, and Blended. So I came up with a plan. Before Happy Gilmore 2 releases, I not only want to go back and watch the original Happy Gilmore movie, but I want to watch every single Adam Sandler movie ever made, so I make sure I don't miss a single reference when Happy Gilmore 2 comes out. And by every Adam Sandler movie, I mean like the ones he's been in for at least 20 minutes, because there's movies like You're So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah, where he's in the movie for literally 1 minute and 36 seconds of runtime. So with this rule in place, there are 45 movies that I have to watch with a total runtime of approximately 50 hours. That's a lot of movies. And to take this even further, I've been taking notes on each movie to truly decide the end goal of what is Adam Sandler's best work. We will be doing this by putting each movie through a vigorous ranking system, where each movie will be judged according to 3 criteria, each ranked out of 10. Number 1, how good was the plot? Did it make sense? Was it any different to all the other previous movies Adam Sandler has done? Because as you're about to find out, some of the movie plots are almost no different to each other. Number 2, how good was Adam Sandler's character in this movie? Was he funny? Was he weird? Or did he put on a weird voice for the entire movie to make it almost unbearable to watch? Number 3, what was the end scene like? Did he end up kissing or marrying the girl? Did he inherit a mass amount of wealth? Because one thing you'll realize in Adam Sandler movies, he doesn't really ever get a bad ending. Rarely. He usually ends up pretty well off. From these 3 criteria, we will get a score out of 30, where I will be ranking it out of 5 stars on a website called Letterboxd, where we will also write a brief review for each movie. To convert the score from 30 to a 5-star rating, we will just apply this simple equation to each score. Amount of stars equals score out of 30 divided by 30 times 5. For example, if a movie scored 26 out of 30, it would convert to 4.5 stars, and we would rank it accordingly on Letterboxd. Got it? Good. Now let's get into our first Adam Sandler movie of this series, Going Overboard. Going Overboard was his first movie he ever appeared in 1989, and fun fact, he actually didn't get the call up to do the movie until like a week before, and he just accepted it blindly. He hadn't even read a script yet. This movie breaks the 4th wall, as in like, he talks to you to the camera like for a lot of the movie straight away, and he even like tells you at the start of the movie how low budget this movie is.
This is a no budget flick, not a low budget flick. No budget.
His character is named Shecky, and Shecky wants to be a stand-up comedian on cruise ships, but he's currently a waiter. The whole reason he wants to be a comedian is because he sees a comedian on the ship, and the current stand-up comedian on the ship just sleeps with a lot of women, and he wants a piece of that. It was such a weird movie, and nothing makes sense the entire time. But then the current ship comedian dies. Well, not really. He's just like, his hat fell off with the wind and landed in the water, and someone saw it and screamed and said, "He's dead! Ah!" But actually, the ship comedian just locked himself in the toilet accidentally. So now Adam Sandler's character, Shecky, sees his opportunity to be the current stand-up comedian on the ship. So that's what he does. And then a shooting breaks out on the ship. Random pirates take over the ship and start shooting people, missing every single bullet. This movie quickly becomes like a Jason Bourne movie if Jason Bourne never killed anybody. And then the shooters decide, I'm not even kidding, the shooters decide they want to be stand-up comedians, so they stop trying to kill everyone. And then the ship comedian breaks out of the toilet and then gets thrown overboard by the pirates. That's how the movie ends. I hated this movie so much. The best part of this movie was the 3 minutes of the end sequence when they rolled the credits. I love in old movies when they just dance the entire time for no reason, just like all the characters. This is the worst movie I've ever seen, and I am genuinely surprised that he had a career after this movie. Now for our scores. Plot, 1 out of 10. It didn't make any sense, and his acting is just so bad. Adam Sandler's character, 1 out of 10. It's a star. start. And the end scene, 2 out of 10. I'm giving it a 2 because the dancing was pretty funny. Now for our Letterboxd review. I wouldn't wish watching this on my worst enemy, 0.5 stars. Our next movie is called Billy Madison, made in 1995. And he starts off the movie by acting disabled, which is always a good start. Adam Sandler plays Billy Madison, as the title would suggest.
Oh, brother.
And his dad is the current owner of Madison Hotels, who's currently in the process of passing the ownership onto an employee because his son is too dumb to own the company. But Billy says that he'll go back to school to prove that he's smart enough to own the company. And I don't mean like high school, like primary school, like he's starting from first grade. Side note, thankfully this movie is already like way more bearable than the previous movie. You can tell the production's just scaled up so much in this one.
That's Billy. He's in my class. I heard he's retarded or something.
Yep. That kid just said it. The school janitor is spying on Billy for the employee who wants to be the CEO of the company instead of Billy. Oh, this movie just got so weird. I mean, for a movie made in the 90s where there's kids involved, there's bound to be some weird shit that happens. So, and then he says he's down to sexually assault his teacher.
I dare you to touch your boob.
Touch your boobs.
That's assault, brother.
About 2 minutes.
After just being on a bus with like the scariest bus driver ever. And now apparently he's smart enough to attend high school. He's made it through junior school, primary school, wherever you are in the world and whatever you call it. And every time he passes a grade, his family like throws a Wolf of Wall Street worthy party. To decide who gets the company, he actually challenges the other employee to an academic decathlon. And whoever is the smartest wins the company. Except this academic decathlon includes like a running race, playing the violin, and acting out a Shakespeare play. Then in the final, the employee can't answer a question, so he threatens to shoot up the school, which is the only logical solution in this situation. And then he's shot by a sniper way down on the back. And after Billy is given the company, he decides, nah, actually, I'm gonna give it to someone who's genuinely capable of running a company, which is a smart thing to do. And Billy's gonna go off to university. To end this movie, he gets the girl and starts kissing the girl. And I wonder how many movies are gonna end the same way. I feel like this is kind of how like Adam Sandler movies all end. And everyone starts making out in the end, and one of them kind of look like a minor, which is not good. And I'm not talking about Minecraft. Now for our scores. Plot, 3 out of 10. This is way too unrealistic. This would never happen. Adam Sandler's character, 3 out of 10. It's better acting, but like he's low-key just a bit creepy. The end scene, 5 out of 10. He does the right thing in the end, but there's just like way too many people kissing. Letterboxd review. Billy Madison belongs on a watch list. 2 stars. And now we're at what kickstarted this whole video, Happy Gilmore. It really is just one of those movies you hear anytime that Adam Sandler is brought up in a conversation. And fun fact, this movie was released just before Tiger Woods started like really gaining popularity. And it actually hugely contributed to golf being a much popular game within like younger people under the age of like 25 in the early 2000s. It wasn't just considered an old man's sport anymore. This movie starts with Adam Sandler's dad being obsessed with hockey so much that his wife moved to Egypt, where there are no hockey rinks. And then his dad dies from getting hit with a hockey puck. So he moves in with his grandma and continues to be like the most aggressive player on the pitch. Or, sorry, rink. And we're starting to see a common theme here in Adam Sandler movies. Adam's character in Happy Gilmore is really dumb. His girlfriend breaks up with him. Then the government says that his grandma is going to get evicted from her household because she hasn't been paying her taxes and she owes the government $270,000. Within the next 90 days, or they'll lose her house. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a plot. Oh my god, it's Ben Stiller! And he's in the charge of the nursing home that Adam Sandler's grandma gets put into. Happy Gilmore then finds out he can actually hit a golf ball really far. This movie has the funniest bit we've seen in any Adam Sandler movie so far, where his new golf coach is explaining to Happy Gilmore how he, as in the golf coach, was going to be the next golfing star, but he had to give it up. And then Happy asks this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because you're black?
And he says, no, it's because an alligator bit off his hand. And the way he uses his wooden hand is just so fucking funny. And the way he just like whacks off his arm had me crying, dude. And throughout the movie, it just gets like progressively more and more beaten. I love like subtle things in movies that they don't clearly point out, but if you look closely, you can see. When you look like closely at what brand shirt he's wearing a Lacoste shirt, which is an alligator logo. Anyways, he wins his first golf tournament, which puts him on the official tour. And he keeps hitting absolute bill cams on the golf tour. And once again, just acting like like a complete goofball, dude. I'm wondering when we're gonna see our first Adam Sandler movie where there's not a blonde love interest. Because right now they're all hitting the same formula, man. He's the goofy, unprofessional character that has development growth and then ends up with a hot girl. On a side note, we need to bring back the insult jackass.
You suck, you jackass.
Jackass. Then at the end, Happy Gilmore hits a shot to win the golf tournament that would make Dude Perfect probably moan. And then he wins his grandma's house back with all the prize money. And let's count how many kisses at the end. 1, 2, 3. Okay, only 3. That's better this time. Now for our scores. Plot, 7 out of 10. American Kid comeback story, not quite The Blind Side. Adam Sandler's character, 8 out of 10. Kind of the same as we've seen before, but like a little more bearable. And this one's kind of iconic. The end scene, 8 out of 10. Kind of predictable ending, you know, guy from humble beginnings beats like the rich brat, Dude Perfect style, and not too much kissing at the end. Letterboxd review. I will be ready for Happy Gilmore 2. 3.5 stars. Next up is Bulletproof, made in 1996. And Adam Sandler's character is Archie in this movie, and he is part of a crime duo who start by stealing cars, but his accomplice is actually secretly working with the police this entire time. And this movie moves faster than any movie we've seen before, where you literally find out everything you need to know pretty much in the first 10 minutes of the movie. And once again, Adam Sandler plays an overly aggressive character. Archie's cop friend gets caught wearing a wire, so they find out he's actually a policeman, and then Archie accidentally shoots him in the head. But as the title would suggest, this guy is bulletproof because he survives getting shot in the head. The officer falls in love with his occupational therapist within this 2-minute montage of him recovering. And then he's literally like back out of the hospital straight away. And the police start cooperating and working with Adam Sandler's character, but he's got to be in like handcuffs the whole time. Then they're getting chased by the drug cartel and escape in a plane, but the pilot gets shot. Oh, not to worry. Adam Sandler has his pilot license. Yeah, sure he does. He knows how to fly a plane. Of course he does. He's Adam Sandler. They have a crash landing because the engine shuts off, but not so fast. The plane lands perfectly on its wheels.
Oh, thank God for that.
At the end of the movie, the guy that got shot in the head, he finds out that the lady he fell in love with, she was working for the bad guys the entire time. But the good guys win, so not to worry. And then it turns out half of the police officers were like working on the bad guys' side the entire time as well. So just lots of like crossing each other over in this movie. Then Adam Sandler moves to Mexico to be a bullfighter, and his partner in crime, as in the police guy, follows him to Mexico and surprises him. Yay! This movie sucked. It lacked substance, and it was so boring. Scores. Plot, 3 out of 10. Unoriginal, already be done heaps. Adam Sandler's character, 4 out of 10. Easy to like, but wasn't very funny. The end scene, 4 out of 10. Now for our letterbox review. You cannot tell me Adam Sandler has his pilot license. He is a fraud, I tell you. Fraud! 2 stars. Next up, we have The Wedding Singer, made in 1998. The only reason I know of this movie is because when I was in high school, my high school tried to get everyone to enroll in a musical theater play of The Wedding Singer. But of course, I said no because I'm not a freaking virgin, dude. This movie starts with Adam Sandler's character singing at a wedding. And oh my god, it's Drew Barrymore, who is also working at the wedding. And they make a deal that if she ever gets married, he has to sing at her wedding. If this movie is predictable as the other Adam Sandler movies, I can bet that they're gonna get married to each other and he's gonna sing at their wedding. Adam's character Rob is getting married, but his to-be wife doesn't show up because she realized she doesn't want to marry a wedding singer. She wants to marry a rock star. Then she meets someone and she's actually gonna get married. So she's practicing her wedding kiss on Rob. Is that what they do at wedding fittings? Like when they're getting fitted for their dress? What the fuck happens at baby showers then? And she's getting married in Vegas, and then for some reason Rob's like, no, now's my chance. Now that she's getting married, I realize that I actually want to get married to her this whole time. So he buys like a first class ticket to Vegas because there's only seat on the flight left. But oh, they're on the same plane. Oh, they're on the same plane. And he's singing for her. Oh my god, this is adorable. And he confesses his love to her, and she confesses her love to him. And then they literally get married in the next scene after this, which I did predict at the start of the movie, but he didn't sing at their wedding. Missed opportunity, movie makers. Hello. Scores. Plot, 6 out of 10. Pretty engaging twist, but like overall, just cliche characters. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. He is likable, had a crash out, came back, had a fucking concert on a plane, dude. The end scene, 5 out of 10. Again, predictable, but missed opportunity. He could have sang at their wedding, but he didn't. Letterboxd review. A wedding singer not singing at his own wedding is like saying a guy who likes to DJ in his spare time isn't going to jump straight on those decks when he's pissed drunk at his own wedding. Unrealistic. 3 stars. Next up, The Waterboy, a movie made in 1998. Straight away, Adam Sandler's character named Bobby Boucher is doing a weird voice again. I'm so over this already.
That's what I call high quality H2O.
What's up with that? Is there a reason? What does it add to the plot? Adam Sandler's character plays the Waterboy for a football team. We're also seeing a correlation between the movie titles and the exact role that Adam Sandler's character plays recently as well. And Jesus Christ, they bully this Waterboy so bad, dude. And his car is a tractor, which is funny, I guess. But no, seriously, like, why does he have to play the role of a disabled person again? Pretty much they get him to play on the football team because the coach sees him tackle a dude when he's really mad at him, and he's got like the best tackling form ever. So basically the team turns him into a PTSD machine. So they make him remember bad things that has traumatized him in his past and use it to make him a tackling weapon. No, like literally they start winning every single game, like after never winning before, ever since Bobby started weaponizing his PTSD. Bobby picks up this girl and it seems like he's got a thing for girls who I can only describe in this day and age would be Twitch streamers, and Bobby Boucher would be a Discord mod. Bobby starts having hallucinations on the field, which makes him start hyperventilating. And of course, we know what comes next. He fucking abuses the entire team, catches an intercept, and then runs the field like a fucking madman.
It looks like we ended up in Retardville, USA.
Another R-bomb. I'm actually interested to see where they start phasing this word out in Hollywood, because I'm pretty sure I remember in the like the start of the 2000s, it was still going strong. The whole issue that Bobby runs into in this movie is that his mum faked a transcript saying that he graduated high school when he was actually homeschooled. So he has to do a test to prove that he can pass high school, because Bobby is like the dumbest person to exist. But somehow he manages to get a score of 97 out of 100. Like, he's literally so dumb, he doesn't know his mother's own name.
Who's Helen?
That's my first name.
They're on the way to the final game now, and Bobby, his mom, and his girlfriend are traveling by speedboat. And there is no way he could have said all of these lines without breaking character. Like, I wonder how many takes this line took to like say.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime in the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl, do you?
To step it up a notch, we have a KKK reference. Bobby throws an insane lob down the field for a clutch buzzer beater touchdown. And if you thought he gets to kiss a girl at the end, you're wrong. He gets fucking married. Who would have thought he gets married at the end of the movie? Who thought? Oh, and his dad shows up at the end, which is telling of his genetics. And then his mum tackles her dad. Guess football defense is also in the genetics, because look at this tackle. This movie is like The Blind Side if Sandra Bullock was getting benefit payments from taking care of an athlete with disabilities. Scores. Plot, 5 out of 10. American comeback kid story. Really not funny for like a comedy. Adam Sandler's character, 2 out of 10. So fucking annoying. Why does he have to act disabled and put on a voice in all of these movies? What does it add to the plot? Tell me that. The end scene. 2 out of 10. They cut straight to a wedding scene, which just like pissed me off. Letterboxd review. This guy is a PTSD machine that's into e-girls. The NFL needs more dudes like Bobby Boucher. His name does kind of sound like a shampoo product though, not gonna lie. 1.5 stars. Next up, we have Big Daddy, made in 1999. Hold on, I gotta change my shirt real quick. Which is also the year that Adam Sandler founded his company, Happy Madison Productions, that I can guarantee you've seen in plenty of movies before. Fun fact, he also got the name Happy Madison Productions from Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison just put together. Anyways, Adam Sandler plays the character Sonny in this film, and this guy is in pretty much every one of his movies. I think it'd be just so cool to be Adam Sandler and be able to just cast your friends and your family in every one of your movies, and then everyone around you is just super wealthy. Anyways, a child gets dropped off at his door, and pretty much Sonny has to care for this child now. Fun fact, this is actually the Sprouse twins. They would swap out both of the twins playing the one character. They really have been doing this acting shit their whole lives, huh? Then Sonny decides he's actually gonna keep the child, and this kid just keeps like pissing and spewing everywhere. Every Adam Sandler movie so far follows the same formula. His character starts off as like a real breaking, careless, broke dude, and then someone influences him to start acting like a contributing citizen, and he has like a redemption arc. Knock knock, who's there? It's social services, and they want their kid back. Yeah, they're taking the kid off Sonny because they're concerned for his welfare, which is kind of, well, Fair enough. Now he's trying to win his adopted son back in court. Also, one of the funniest things in this movie is when he's in the courtroom and like 5 lawyers keep piling into the courtroom to defend him. Then the judge says, nah, you probably shouldn't get this child. But the actual father is there. Plot twist. And he says like, yeah, I'm actually the father. I just had a huge night at Hooters this one time in Toronto.
6 years ago. Sonny, you remember, right? He was at that Toronto Hooters.
So now this guy gets custody of the child. A year later, they go back to a Hooters and Sonny has his own kid now. I remember the first time I went to a Hooters. I was 12. I had chicken wings. Now, overall, this film was like one of the better Adam Sandler movies I've seen so far. Scores, plots, 8 out of 10. It was wholesome whilst like having a good storyline and enough like little funny bits to keep you going. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. Because he wasn't annoying and he's kind of coming into this like yelling, loud humor that he's now known for. The end scene, 5 out of 10. Because at the end, they kind of just like skipped a whole year, which is I think just lazy writing. Bonus points because they went to a Hooters. Nobody kissed in this end scene though, which is really surprising. Letterboxd review. This movie was the start of Adam Sandler's weird obsession with Hooters in his movies. And now I'm honestly just craving some chicken wings. Come to think of it, Hooters was low-key the whole mitochondria of this movie. It was the powerhouse of the whole plot. What's up with that? I'm starving. 3.5 stars. Next up, Little Nicky. And while I'm going back through my notes of this movie, I'm just reminded of how terrible this movie was. This movie was made in the year 2000 and begins with some guy perving on this mum through her window, and he falls out of a tree after being caught. He dies and wakes up in hell. And we get introduced to Adam Sandler's character in this film named Nicky. And his dad is the leader of hell, but he's retiring today. Once again, Adam Sandler talks in a weird voice throughout this whole movie.
I don't know if I can do this.
I'm excited to get to the movies where he just plays like a normal fucking character. But then his father decides that he's actually going to stay the leader of hell. The other 2 brothers escape from hell, meaning Nicky's dad is starting to deteriorate because they blocked the entrance to hell and his dad feeds on souls, and now no more souls can get into hell. Fetch me their soul. That was a reference to all my gamers out there. It's round 5 on COD Zombies, and the hellhounds are here, baby. Ho, ho, ho. Nicky is sent on a mission to go back to Earth and trying to collect his brothers. But just like the other films he's played in, he's the dumbest motherfucker to ever exist. So this proves to be a little difficult. I just realized he kind of sounds like Jennifer Coolidge in this movie.
I don't know what that guy's problem was. It's freezing up here.
Then the 2 brothers possess a church priest and a New York governor and pretty much say God isn't real and everyone should just have fun. What is this, an edgy Katy Perry song? I think this scene of Nicky telepathically talking to his brother really just sums up how awful this movie is. Watching this movie, I could literally feel myself aging. Even though it's like an hour and a half bit long, I felt every minute. There is a Happy Gilmore reference in this movie, which was kind of fun to see because that is why I'm making this video in the first place. Then they bring hell to Central Park, but it's not that accurate because Joshua Block, World of T-shirts, would probably be there if hell was in Central Park. Ozzy Osbourne spawns in and he eats a fucking bat. So this is where the coronavirus came from. It was Ozzy Osbourne. There are a few funny parts in this movie, but overall it was just like so terrible. It ends with Nicky living on Earth after returning his brothers to hell, saving his father, who continued to be the leader of hell. Scores, plot, 2 out of 10. This movie made absolutely no sense, but at least at the end they return his dad to hell, which was the original goal of the movie. Adam Sandler's character, 1 out of 10. Super annoying. They didn't need to give this guy a speech impediment. The end scene, 2 out of 10. Pretty underwhelming ending. Letterboxd review. Ozzy Osbourne started coronavirus in Central Park. Jennifer Coolidge got her voice acting breakthrough. 1 star. Our next movie is called Punch Drunk Love, made in 2002, and going from our previous movie we just watched to watching this one is an insane switch up. This is the first serious character that we see Adam Sandler play, and he's very good at it. This movie starts with his character Barry showing some signs of depression and living a very lonely life. This movie kind of doesn't describe what's going on whilst making you feel stressed at the same time. Every character in this movie just like kind of rushes Barry around, and nobody ever really gives him a break, and he has like 7 sisters. He gets himself into a bit of trouble and gets beat up, so he's decided he's had enough of all the stress and stuff of where he lives, and discovers a loophole in a frequent flyer promotion where this pudding company had a promotion that would give you way more airline frequent flyer points than the pudding is worth, and there's no limit to how many you can buy. And he wants to go to Hawaii. Anyways, he meets up with this girl in Hawaii and they kiss. Yeah. Then he gets back home with a girl and some thugs try to beat him up, but he bosses the fuck up and slaps all of them, dude. He's just constantly on the go this entire movie, and it makes whoever is watching like feel so uncomfortable. No other Adam Sandler movie has made me feel this way so far, and I think if you can feel an emotion from a movie, like if it can make you feel a certain way, I think that is what makes a great movie. Scores. Plot, 8 out of 10. Little confusing. I was anxious throughout this whole movie. It was like watching an episode of White Lotus. Adam Sandler's character, 9 out of 10. Really good acting in this movie. You could tell he was like troubled throughout the whole film. The end scene, 6 out of 10. Pretty underwhelming. Letterboxd review. This guy wasn't joking when he said, if I had $1 for every cup of pudding I ate, I'd be rich. 4 stars. Next up, we have Mr. Deeds, which was a movie also made in 2002. And this movie starts with billionaire company owner dying after climbing Mount Everest at the age of like 80 years old. And people are searching for the son of Deeds, who is about to inherit the billions of dollars as he is the closest family member to Deeds. And imagine casting your friend in all of your movies, but he has to like play the crazy, ugly character in every film. Like, that's a great would you rather question. You're casted in every Adam Sandler movie, but your character has no teeth and can't stop pooing. Anyways, a news reporter pretends to be into him to like get insider footage of him and more about his life. And he's got all this money that rich company guys are like basically trying to steal from him. Oh, and guess what? Adam Sandler plays an overly aggressive character again. Anyways, he finds out that the girl is secretly a news reporter on the night he was proposing to marry her. He needs to like stop rushing to marry women like this. Like, this is getting out of hand. Then Deeds comes back to New York to give a speech to the company as they want to sell off the company or something like that. Company. And he somehow convinces everyone that they should keep the company together and not instantly sell off everything and make a lot of money for themselves. Then the news reporter comes back to give a speech as well, and she did some investigative work that proves the butler of the Deeds estate is actually a majority shareholder in the company somehow. I don't know, it was a little confusing, but the butler fires the rich guy trying to sell the company, and the news reporter opens up about lying and she apologizes. The movie ends with, guess what? Them kissing. Ooh, solving an issue with the female that you had a love interest in and then getting back together and kissing at the end. Yeah, let's do that for a movie. It's getting old really quick. Scores. Plot, 4 out of 10. Adam Sandler's character, 5 out of 10. He's played this character before, but at least he wasn't doing an annoying voice or acting disabled. So I respect that. The bar is low. The end scene, 5 out of 10. Predictable ending, but like it wasn't overboard and it kind of made sense. Letterboxd review. Adam Sandler literally needs to stop marrying every woman he has just met in his movies. This cannot be good for his mental health. 2.5 stars. You guys need to strap in for this one, all right? Next up is 8 Crazy Nights, made in 2002. And no, this isn't a movie about Adam Sandler going on a bender. This is the first animated movie we get to see from Adam Sandler. And it's a Christmas movie as well as a musical. I'm watching this in April. There's something that feels so off about watching Christmas movies anytime outside of like November, December. By the way, I genuinely love Christmas. Like, I'm at my happiest in December. Fun fact, following the release of this movie 8 Crazy Nights, the studio that produced this movie went bankrupt. So if that tells you anything about what we're just about to watch right now, yeah. Also, this Columbia Pictures intro is terrifying. Adam Sandler plays Adam Sandler in this animated movie. I'm also sorry for the pixelated quality for a lot of the movie. For some reason, my internet was really not liking me, and I was only able to play like 240p when I was recording this. It starts with him being drunk and making love to his car. Wait, what? And he sings in this movie? Sings about how Hanukkah goes for 8 nights and he hates everything, including Hanukkah. He's a referee for a school, and this line he says right here is genuinely fucking crazy.
Foul on this kid for eating everything in sight. Jelly jugs, next time you come on my court, you better wear a bra.
And this old guy's voice is making me lose my shit.
It is Bavarian cream filled.
And to make matters much worse for me, this KFC Colonel Monopoly Man wannabe little fucker starts singing.
Happy, so fancy, free.
Thankfully, this annoying grandpa falls out of a tree for like 20 seconds straight. Like, he just keeps falling. Adam Sandler just like continuously tortures this guy throughout the entire movie. Like, he almost kills him. They play a game of basketball, and this motherfucker gets blocked so hard that he might have actually died this time. Anyways, Sandler comes back to apologize to everyone and tell everyone that they should be nicer to the older guy because everyone loves to goof on him, but he's actually a nice guy. So everyone apologizes to this old guy named Whitey, and it's actually really wholesome. And then he gets a seizure from happiness. And that's how the movie ends. I'm not even kidding. He gets a happiness seizure. Okay, well, this movie was fine, I guess. Scoreboard, plot, 3 out of 10. This plot was really bad. It was like hard to follow, pretty pointless, but it was wholesome. Adam Sandler's character got 6 out of 10 though. More points here because it was genuinely funny just how bad he tortured the old guy. Like he just kept doing it. It was funny. The end scene, 3 out of 10. It was wholesome, but just like kind of shit. Letterboxd review. That KFC Colonel ass looking motherfucker deserved every little bit of abuse that he got in this film after he opened his mouth and started singing. In what was potentially the worst sounding thing my poor ears have ever heard in their entire existence. 2 stars. Now we have Anger Management, a movie made in 2003. Damn, like say what you want about Adam Sandler, but this guy was hustling to get these movies out. Pretty much this movie is about Adam Sandler's character having anger issues, except he doesn't really have anger issues. People just piss him off and push him past his limit. He's forced into an anger management program where he has to complete 40 hours worth of sessions. I'm just kind of got to like cut to the chase in this movie. This movie is so boring. Adam Sandler's character loses his girl, so he breaks into a Yankee Stadium field to express his love for this girl, and he accepts that he was an angry guy, but he wants to change, and he loves her, and he asks her to marry him, and he makes out with a girl. Just like every other movie, I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of this same ending every time, man. Plot, 2 out of 10. Adam Sandler's character, 1 out of 10. Super boring. End scene, 3 out of 10. It was kind of fun that he did it at like a Yankees game, like rom-com in a stadium. Like everyone's like, come on, yeah, when everyone's rooting for him. Letterboxd review. This movie made me think I needed to go into anger management sessions. Ha ha ha. Am I right, guys? This movie was very boring, 1 star. Now it's time for 50 First Dates, made in 2004. Adam Sandler plays Henry, who is a vet in a zoo on an island. And this guy loves to sleep around. And by sleep around, apparently he gives women the night of their lives and then makes up an excuse to leave immediately the next day. Oh, look, he spots a quirky girl called Lucy. She's not like the other girls because she's a quirky girl who likes to build houses out of her food, like waffles and stuff. But then we find out that she doesn't remember the date they had yesterday because when she was younger, she got in a car accident and suffered a head injury, resulting in her losing her short-term memory. And her family has to do the same thing every day, so she doesn't realize she's living the same day every day. This just seems cruel. Anyways, Henry acts like he's unemployed the way he tries a different method every day to re-meet her. Oh, here we go. Yep. Henry asks if she would marry him and she says yes. But then she wakes up in the morning like this. Because she doesn't remember him. She breaks up with him because she doesn't want to ruin his life. Henry leaves the island, I guess, because he didn't want to be reminded of the girl that he'll never get. Then he goes back to get Lucy because he's convinced that she remembers him. And she says she dreams about him every night. So they kiss. Now she lives with him on a boat. Oh, and they have a daughter now. Here's our scores. Plot, 8 out of 10. This is one of the better Adam Sandler movies I think we've seen. And by this, I mean it felt like we were watching an actual movie with a plot line we could follow. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. His character is like dedicated to the fucking game in this movie, dude. Like, he's not giving up. The end scene, 8 out of 10. Wholesome ending, doesn't make sense. Kinda, not really. It makes you feel good though. Letterboxd review. Adam Sandler plays a fuckboy who ends up going for the girl who can't remember anything. Coincidence? I think not. 4 stars. Now we're talking about a movie called Spanglish, made in 2004. And the title of the movie, if you didn't really realize, is a combination of Spanish and English. And I'm not gonna tell you why. It's really hard to find out. This movie starts with a Spanish mother and daughter making the first move to America. About 15 minutes into the movie, we get our first glimpse of Adam Sandler. The Spanish family moves to Malibu to move into Adam Sandler's house, and the mother gets a job working as a maid, getting paid $650 USD per week, which is pretty good. Adam plays the role of a chef from a Michelin star restaurant, and he's so good that he gets awarded the best chef in the United States. I think you should go watch this movie, so I'm gonna skip most of the plot. I'm just gonna tell you the ending. The ending is he pretty much falls in love with the Spanish lady because her nice, pretty Latino wife mean and old and stretch marks, if that makes sense. Pretty much. Score, plot, 6 out of 10. It was the longest movie we've seen so far with a runtime of about 2 hours. It's a good movie, just like a bit slow at sometimes. Don't really have much to say about this movie. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. He depicted like a high-class, stressed-out chef pretty well. The end scene, 8 out of 10. The movie ends with the Spanish mom and daughter leaving the house, and the daughter figures she wants more of a life after seeing the American dream lifestyle. Pretty good ending. Letterboxd review. Wife equals old and gross. Latinos equals hell yeah. 3.5 stars. Next up, we have The Longest Yard, made in 2005. What I'm about to describe to you is the first 8 minutes of this movie, which is completely different to the rest of the movie. It starts with Adam Sandler's character's girlfriend throwing a party, and he doesn't want a party. So when she says he needs to come out of his room, he locks her in a closet and drunk drives her Jaguar, does a hit and run on a police car, hits 5 stars on GTA because a helicopter's following him now, and we find out his name is Paul, and he was a former NFL football player. This is a story we've seen before, except that it was a white Ford Bronco, and Adam Sandler's character got in an 8-car pileup. Then he's sent to prison, and everyone fucking hates him except for the guy that plays a zebra in Madagascar, also named Chris Rock. And the owner of the jail is really into NFL, so he pretty much makes Adam Sandler coach the jail football team because he used to play in the NFL. Oh yeah, the jail is a football team that plays against other football teams. And there is some hardcore racism in this movie out of nowhere. It goes from like being a lighthearted comedy movie to Huckleberry Finn in 30 seconds. But then we're back to slow-mo walkout with rap song. Anyways, they play a football game against prison guards, and Paul is put in the squad to play quarterback because apparently he used to play quarterback in the NFL 7 years ago. Then the head of the jail says if Paul doesn't make their team purposely lose against the prison guards, he'll set him up to be executed with the death penalty. Like, is it really that serious? But he says, fuck it, with 6 seconds left on the clock, and gets a touchdown. And they pretty much can either kick to tie the game or run the ball to win the game. And they go for the run, and fucking Paul gets a touchdown to win the game, yeah. And then the movie just finishes. Scores, plot, 6 out of 10. Kinda interesting, like, fuck yeah, American football, but in a jail. So, I don't know. Not very interesting. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. Some good character building was seen. He becomes a man of the people, kind of like The Blind Side. Wait. Actually, no, it's not like The Blind Side at all, actually. The end scene, 5 out of 10. So, they win the game, which is predictable, but, like, we just don't find out what happens after. Like, he was going to get executed on the death penalty. What happened? Did he end up dying? Guess we'll never know. Letterboxd review. The first 8 minutes of this movie could have been the opening to a Fast and Furious movie. This movie gets pretty boring after that. 3 stars. Next, we have Click, made in 2006. And this is actually one of the Adam Sandler movies that I've heard about the most, but have never seen before. The way this movie starts is like very cliche for an Adam Sandler movie. He always has a supermodel wife for some reason, and everyone he works with is also super good looking. It looks like he does the casting himself, I would say. Oh, and for my Australians watching, did you know that Sophie Monk is in this movie? Then he walks into a back room of a Bed Bath & Beyond, and there's a scientist working on some shit. He's cooking up some shit back there, and he happens to have a universal remote that he's been working on that can literally do anything. This movie is basically the plot of Aladdin if it was nothing like Aladdin, but the remote kind of works like a genie. We get our first look at what the remote is capable when he tries to pause his TV, but he pauses his wife as well. What? I've seen this somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it was a different website. If this remote got in the wrong hands, it could be like really weird. Like, imagine if they casted Porky Pig from Looney Tunes to play Adam Sandler's character in this movie. He looks innocent and he plays in kids movies, but I know that motherfucker would do some sinister shit with this remote. Porky Pig would be that guy to have like an evil monologue that goes on for way too long. I can't take it anymore. I'm so sick of the same shit every day. Sorry, that got really dark. Let's move on. Whoa, this is the best part. Woman being loud. Pause. On mute. Let's put her on mute and put some baseball on, dude. Someone get him a beer right now. Oh yeah, this remote can literally give you like Apple Vision Pro with a click of a button. And now we can go back and live any moment from his childhood. I was born in 2001, and my parents told me that I was watching Oprah with them when 9/11 was happening, and apparently the episode got like abruptly interrupted. I was gonna make a joke, but now I'm thinking about it and I don't want to anymore. I'm a journalist, goddammit. I have to keep my integrity. Now he's like, I can't be bothered spending time with my family, so I'm just gonna fast forward until I can be alone in my man cave. Hell yeah, family sucks. I'll just let this scene speak for itself. This is actually just horrible. Adam's character, Michael, is genuinely a terrible person in this film who just hates spending time with his family. Terry Crews! Also, doesn't he do this exact same scene in White Chicks? Also, this is a super unnecessary part of the movie, but like he can change skin colors with the remote. Yeah. And then he accidentally skips to him getting promoted to CEO, and it skips him another 10 years into the future, and now he's fat and miserable. But his son grows up to be Jonah Hill, so it's all kind of worth it, I guess. Then he ends up in a hospital after getting a concussion, so he spends 6 more years in a coma, and he wakes up and he finds out his parents have died. So this movie starts out like unfathomably goofy and becomes the plot to Interstellar. Like, I'm not even kidding. Before Interstellar was even made, who knew the movie Click, made in 2006, 1986 by comedy genius Adam Sandler would inspire such a great movie about traveling through universes. Don't let me leave, Murph! But then he goes back in time to the last time he saw his dad, and I genuinely almost started weeping at this scene. I'm so confused. What is this movie? 1 second he's pressing pause on like slow-mo bouncing boobies, and the next he's missing out on his entire life. And now he's at his son's wedding, and oh, thank God his mum is still alive. That's good. But like, who is this movie for? It's got swearing and sexualizing of women, and it's really deep, while also being kind of sad, but it's also got heaps of childish themes. Like, what demographic is this made for? So he sprints out of the hospital so his son doesn't leave him, and then he collapses on the road in the rain, and then dies shortly after saying to them how family comes first, and how he's sorry to his family, and he hands his ex-wife a note and says, "Will you still love me in the morning?" I'm sobbing watching this, by the way. I'm sobbing. Well, I've literally got goosebumps right now. And then they go ahead and fucking ruin it. He wakes up in the Bed Bath & Beyond, and oh, it was just all a dream. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Now I know how English teachers feel when you're writing a story in class and you end the story with, oh, and it was all just a dream. Go fuck yourself. But it does end with a good message. Like, he wakes up with a new lease on life. He's back in time to where he started, and like, he goes and tells his parents how much he loves them, and his kids how much he loves them. Then tells his daughter that one day she's gonna be the hottest chick alive.
One day you are gonna be the hottest chick alive.
Oh, that was weird. It was like wholesome until that. Score. Plot. 10 out of 10. This is our first 10 because this was a genuinely great movie that I didn't expect. I was told this would be a goofy, fun, silly movie. It had me questioning life. But this movie deserves a 10. Adam Sandler's character, 9 out of 10. 1 point deducted because he's an actual knob and he's like unbearable for a bit, like a lot of the movie. But then he realizes life isn't about work and making money. The real currency is family and happiness. Damn, I kind of cooked on that. The end scene, 7 out of 10. Wholesome ending, but I just hate the it was all a dream trope. Like, it seems just lazy. Letterboxd review. Who is this movie for? This movie has a similar plot line to that of Interstellar, but features a remote where you can change skin color and make females talk on mute, so you can watch ESPN on your inbuilt Apple Vision Pro that works through your eyeballs. This movie made me cry. I thought this movie was supposed to be a comedy. I called my parents after watching this movie and told them I miss them. When I have a child, I'm going to show them this movie, and the second they start to act ungrateful, and I know this movie will put them back in their place. Cinematic masterpiece. 4.5 stars. Next up is Rain on Me, released in 2007. And some people claim to think this is Adam Sandler's best movie, but a lot of people also think Coke No Sugar is better than Pepsi Max. And they would be wrong. But this movie starts with his character Charlie, who is some sort of deranged, lonely guy. And pretty much his whole family has died, and now he's just sad. He takes interest in music and is reunited with his college roommate, and kind of trauma dumps on that guy and makes his life really hard. He gets himself arrested. Pretty much he's acting this way because he has intense PTSD from his family dying. Anyways, he has like an intense freak out when he's in a courtroom from aiming a gun at an officer after getting arrested. But they kind of sort of shit out and everyone ends up being a little happier. Personally, I thought this movie was really boring, okay? It was really boring. I don't know why people like this movie so much. Maybe they just want to be different. A lot of the time, people like something because they want to be different. They can't just say, hey, my favorite movie is Grown Ups. They have to say, hey, my favorite movie was actually the live-action Les Miserables movie. Scores. Plot. 5 out of 10. Meaningful, but boring. Adam Sandler's character. I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10 though. The acting he shows in this movie is beyond anything we've seen before. It's like genuinely emotional and you can tell how deranged he is in this movie. End scene. 5 out of 10. Happy ending, but like it's kind of boring and kind of uneventful. Letterboxd review. Pepsi Max is better than Coke Zero. 3 stars. Our next movie is called I Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, released in 2007. Adam Sandler plays Chuck in this film, a fireman that's even been put on those like hot fireman calendars, and he's putting out fires, shit, and talking to girls and shit. Sometimes I do wonder if he comes up with like these movies himself so he can put himself in the character, like the baller ass character. Because honestly, I'd do the same. His best friend is Kevin James, who's also a fireman and also plays in The Grown Ups as the same kind of character. Like, he starts to find out his son is gay because he likes doing the splits and baking food instead of watching baseball, which is kind of funny. His friend proposes that they should legally get married to each other for some reason. I actually missed the reason, but I'm pretty sure it was for some like benefit payment shit. Then they drive to Canada because gay marriage is legalized there. Gay marriage only got legalized in 2015. That's crazy. Only 10 years ago. It was 2017 in Australia. Wow. But Canada got legalized in 2005. So 2 years before this movie was made, maybe Adam Sandler thought, hey, let's jump on this trend. Gay marriage. People are going to love it. And now they go shopping for gay stuff so they can seem more gay to everyone. So they buy a Wham album. I do love the song Last Christmas. They go to a gay party and they have to act gay for everyone, but like they did not need to go to this party. And then Chuck starts to feel like his friends in the fire department don't want to hang with him or play basketball with him because he's gay. And then they're showering and one of the firefighters drop the soap and they all start freaking out because Chuck's in the bathroom and he's gay. They have to attend the court of law to prove that they're gay because they are claiming some sort of tax benefits from being gay. So they rehearse potential questions that might come up like, what's their star sign? What's their favorite brand of underwear? You know, typical like gay questions. And to prove they're gay in the court of law, they have to kiss each other because everyone knows that's how you prove you're gay. Then after all that, they admit they're not gay and they tell everyone they should be more careful with the way they act towards gay people. And then he ends up with the girl that he was pretending to be a gay best friend to, of course. This is an Adam Sandler movie, okay? He ends up with the girl. Guys. I am so sick of the same ending. Do you know, watching these movies back to back consecutively, how much I was losing my mind seeing the movie end the same way? Scores, plot, 7 out of 10. Pretty goofy and fun, few funny parts and good message, I guess. Adam Sandler's character, 6 out of 10. Not really like annoying or putting on a weird voice. His character is silly, but it works. The end scene, 6 out of 10. Again, good message, predictable. Ends up with the same ending as all of them. Letterboxd review. Everyone's gaydar in this movie sucked. These two dudes are the straightest motherfuckers to ever step into a Hooters. 3 stars. You don't mess with the Zohan. That's what this next movie is called, and it came out in 2008. Zohan is another movie where Adam Sandler plays a role of a character that's just a fucking weapon, low-key. Like, he's the coolest dude ever. Like, he's literally dancing on a helicopter. Come on, this dude is sick. But Zohan is in the army, I think somewhere like Istanbul. But I'm gonna breeze over this one because it was a little boring. He fakes his death because he doesn't want to be in the army anymore, and he flees the country to live in no other than New York City, baby. The Big Apple. And straight away, he finds his passion to be hairstyling. He also does a really good job at putting on an accent. I'm not sure if it's considered racism in this movie, but I'm choosing to ignore it.
Still, brother, grandma, grandpa, the whole family. I'm good at this.
I think Adam genuinely enjoys the challenge of having to talk weird. There's some pretty funny parts, like this scene where a lady hands him dreads and it scares the shit out of him because he thinks it's a live animal. And this scene where he does push-ups with no hands. Pretty much is a hairdresser who cuts old ladies' hair, gives them a full treatment, and then has intercourse with them. So he creates a lot of demand for this hair salon. And I just realized this is Rob Schneider and he's playing as a taxi driver. It's pretty much a movie filled with racist humor, and they got Mariah Carey to sing at the end somehow. Scores, plot, 4 out of 10. I liked that it was set in New York City. It's a pretty boring movie though. It's also really pointless. Adam Sandler's character, 5 out of 10. That accent would have been difficult to pull off. The end scene, 3 out of 10. Letterboxd review. I'm still just trying to figure out if this is considered racist or not. Talented hairdresser, 2 stars. And now we're on to Bedtime Stories, made in 2008, and this is a Disney movie. Adam plays Skeeter in this movie. Yes, that's his name. And his dad used to own a motel, but he had to sign a document that allowed renovations to happen to the hotel because they had to make more money to stay afloat. And he signed under one condition, that his son will one day own the hotel business. This didn't end up happening, but his son does end up working there as a janitor. This is a kids movie, we have to remember, so the comedy in this movie is a bit more tame. Apart from this part where this goblin gets fucking punted. But the head of the company is going to give Skeeter a chance of coming up with a chance of being the owner of the company if he can come up with a good idea for the new hotel theme. And Skeeter comes up with some pretty insane bedtime stories to tell his nephew and niece he's babysitting. So I reckon he's got a pretty good shot at this. But the bedtime stories he tells kind of come true in some sort of way in real life. But it only works if the kids say what happens. So they'll say the details of the story and the next day they'll come true. But the last bedtime story he told, the kids ended it with him lighting on fire. So obviously that's going to scare the shit out of him, and he pitches an idea to the owner of the hotel, and the owner liked it, so he gets ownership of the hotel now. But then the main owner of the hotel is having a birthday party, and they come out with like sparklers, and obviously Sandler's character is like, oh, I've just been told I'm going to be lit on fire, so he gets a fire extinguisher and sprays it all over his boss accidentally, and then he gets fired.
You're fired.
Get it? He's not on fire. He gets fired. Quick side note, they added like this excessive scream to this female character when she's obviously barely screaming, and they just use the same scream sound over and over again, which is kind of funny. Anyways, the school that we're gonna blow up for the hotel construction gets to stay because Skeeter convinced the government to save the school. Yay! Good thing, because her niece and nephew are still in the building and they were gonna blow up with the building. And then he gets to kiss the girl who was his love interest in the Bedtime Stories. Scores! Plot. 8 out of 10. Even though this movie was a kid's movie, it was like pretty creative and it felt fun. It was nice to watch. It makes you miss like being a kid. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. He's kind of a puppet for his niece and nephew's imagination in this film, which he plays like really well. And he was like made to act in kids' movies because of how like expressive he is. The end scene, 7 out of 10. They save the school from blowing up. He gets the girl. Everyone lives happily ever after. Letterboxd review. Goblin got punted into the next stratosphere. 3.5 stars. Next up, we got a movie called Funny People, released in 2009. And it's called that because the movie is about comedians. This movie starts with the doctor telling Adam Sandler's character George Simmons, a comedian and movie star, that he had a form of leukemia and chemo isn't even going to be effective in saving him. Awesome. Seth Rogen's in this film too, and he's an aspiring comedian. Oh my god, that's Jonah Hill. Lots of funny people. And George kind of takes Seth's character under his wing and pays him to be a writer for his comedy shows, and he starts to get better at his comedy sets. This movie is kind of sad because George has no friends and he's kind of just waiting for his life to end. Then he finds out that he may have beaten the cancer and he can get back to his life, and it seems like he has a new lease on life now. Is that Eminem? This movie was 2.5 hours long and it was a very painful watch. Scores, plot. 5 out of 10. Went on for way too long and it was unenjoyable, but I had good characters in it. Adam Sandler's character, 5 out of 10. He plays the character of a narcissist really well in this movie. The end scene, 4 out of 10. It sucked. I came out of this movie feeling depressed, honestly. Letterboxd review. Funny people? More like unfunny people. This movie was the biggest waste of 2.5 hours. Eminem is in this movie though. Palms are sweaty. Knees weak. Arms are heavy. 2.5 stars. Oh yeah, baby. We're now on to Grown Ups, released in 2010. Finally, we're into the 2010s with Grown Ups, dude. Which I would say for me is like the most notorious Adam Sandler movie as a kid who was born in 2001. This is where I'd say I discovered Adam Sandler, I'd say. This movie begins with friends in high school playing together on a basketball team and they win. And then it skips forward 30 years later and these guys are, you guessed it, grown-ups. And Sandler's character finds out that the coach of the team has just passed away and they're all going to catch up at his funeral. But the premise of this movie is that they're all staying in a lake house and it's like 5 dudes with their wives and children and they just get up to some tomfoolery, man, the whole time. There's constantly funny bits. It's like unhinged family fun, dude. I love this part when they play arrow roulette, so they shoot an arrow up in the air and the person who stands there still without running away wins. Then they go to a water park and bro, I wanted to go to this water park so bad when I was younger. This scene is like a staple in my memory. It's just so good. And this classic bit where the water turns blue when he pees in the pool from all like the chlorine and stuff and the chemicals. And then the team they verse in high school happens to be staying in the same area and they have a rematch in a basketball game. It ends with Adam Sandler's character throwing the game on purpose so that the other team can finally feel like they've won something. That's why this film is so good, because it doesn't give you that typical like Adam Sandler ending. It's okay to let the other team win sometimes, and it doesn't always have to be a perfectly predictable ending. What a great movie. Scores, plot, 9 out of 10. Almost a perfect score. This movie is just so good to watch in so many different ways. It makes you like nostalgic. It makes you miss being a kid. And it just makes you genuinely happy. And I love the cast of this movie. Adam Sandler's character, 8 out of 10. He plays a father so well. And it's probably because he's a good father in real life, I would say. He's funny and so is the whole cast. End scene, 8 out of 10. It's a nice ending. Not cliche. Just ends kind of abruptly though. Letterboxd review. I want to make pool blue in water park. 4 stars. And now we have Just Go With It, releasing in 2011. To be honest, this is probably like the best follow-up movie to Grown Ups. I feel like we're coming to the Adam Sandler glory era right now, where he's like really shining in his rom-com, family, comedic kind of movies. This movie starts with his real-life wife about to marry him in the movie, and then she says she doesn't want to get married to him anymore. So he went back to a bar that night and has his wedding ring on, but he starts using it to create sob stories and pick up girls at bars. You know, classic Adam Sandler style. And we get our first look at Jennifer Aniston, who works with Adam Sandler's character at a plastic surgery clinic. These two, I reckon, are like the perfect duo in his movies out of all his like female co-parts. And then he sleeps with this girl on the beach apparently, and I mean like they actually sleep there. There's no way anyone looks this good after sleeping on the beach. Anyways, then he gets his co-worker, who's Jennifer Aniston, to act like his ex-wife because the girl he met isn't convinced that he doesn't have a wife and she wants to meet his ex-wife. I love nothing more than these like high-end shopping montages montages in movies because it makes me wish I was rich. You might think I'm pretty good at this YouTube thing, but like, it doesn't pay that well, guys. Like, I'm still trying to get that 100k silver YouTube play button, guys. And who knows, if you subscribe, maybe I'll get there. I'll get to 100k soon. Maybe I can have that plaque and I can hang it up back there. And his co-workers' literal children are there to help him get this girl. The son of his so-called ex-wife convinces him to take everyone to Hawaii, including Jennifer's made-up husband. The lengths he is going to get this girl is genuinely insane behavior. And then, surprise, surprise, on the holiday, they slowly start to fall more in love as they find each other bonding with each other. And I know I don't mean blended. We'll get to that movie Blended later. It's different, I think. I think it's a different movie. But the new girl wants to get married now, and Sandler is like, I don't know if I want to get married anymore, actually. This is an Adam Sandler movie. Sometimes you get exactly what you set out to do, and then you realize you want to fuck up the whole thing to marry your co-worker. So these guys decide they're together now, and that's how the movie ends. He's wearing his actual wedding ring that he got married to Jennifer Aniston with. Scores, plot, 7 out of 10. It's fun and loving, but it's honestly not as good of a movie as I remembered it to be. I think I'm actually mixing it up with the movie Blended. Adam Sandler's character, 9 out of 10. We've seen this kind of character before, but I mean, he just does it so well. Like, this is the perfect Adam Sandler character. The end scene, 7 out of 10. It's wholesome, but predictable. Feels like they could have done way more with this. Letterboxd review. Now, this is what people think of when you say Adam Sandler movie. This movie is like the pinnacle of what makes an Adam Sandler movie. Girl equals gross, uninterested. Vacation equals with the girl, still uninterested. Girl of dreams equals nah. Going back to Girl from the Start. Marriage, 4 stars. Now we're up to Jack and Jill, released in 2011. Did I say this was the Adam Sandler glory years? Well, this movie single-handedly ruins all of that. So Jack and Jill, right? They're twins, yeah? And they're both played by Adam Sandler, okay? But one of them is a girl. I actually don't know what's going on for the majority of this film, but we do know that Jill is like really dumb, and the whole movie just kind of consists of her getting up to tomfoolery and being a pest to everyone. Oh, and you bet it's got funny farts. Look, she doesn't even know how to use a computer. That's funny. However, it seems like every movie he makes, he's always in a mansion. Have you noticed that? I noticed that. And he has a job as an advertisement executive, and he's working on getting Al Pacino in a Dunkin' Donuts campaign. Oh yeah, this movie has 13 different product placements. So a lot of people think this movie is like just one big money grab with little effort to create anything actually interesting. Then this movie tries to make you feel something by Jill getting stood up on a date and nobody likes her and she's stupid, and well, it's not gonna work on me. It was nice seeing Kobe in this Lakers scene though. May he rest in peace. It was also funny seeing Johnny Depp sitting next to Al Pacino, and Al is trying to hide who he is, but the fan cam just like keeps zooming right into his face. But of course, Al Pacino is into Jill. It's the sham wow guy. This movie is literally just cameos. And then for some reason, everyone starts to think that Jill is like attractive. But no, like actually these fart sounds are unbelievable in this movie.
I spent the day at Felipe's picnic where I finally felt welcome.
This isn't even edited. This is the real sound that they use in the movie, by the way. Then they all go on a cruise together, and this is just one big brand deal with the cruise line. I mean, it made me want to go on a cruise. Royal Caribbean, hit me up. Then this is how it ends. Jill gets pissed off, goes home, then Jack comes back with the family and says this.
She's not alone. She's with her family.
No, Adam Sandler, you have schizophrenia. And then there's like a literal Dunkin' Donuts ad at the end of this movie with Al Pacino, just for him to say that he doesn't want to be in the ad and he doesn't want it to go live anymore, and it was all for nothing. Scores, plot, 2 out of 10. This movie. Adam Sandler's character, 2 out of 10, only because there's 2 of them. He plays 2 characters. The end scene, 1 out of 10. It was an ad. So honestly, I'll never get that hour and a half back that I used watching that movie, and that makes me sad. Letterboxd review. Fuck this movie. Adam Sandler has schizophrenia, 1 star. Next up, we got That's My Boy, released in 2012. So this movie starts on a hugely confronting note. It starts with this kid named Donnie in high school, and his female teacher is sleeping with him. Like, this is a 12-year-old boy, and then she gets pregnant. And at first I'm like, this is for sure a dream. There's no way this is real. But no, that's real, and that's how this movie starts. So he's already got a son, and I guess the teacher is sent to prison, but he becomes like famous for banging his teacher. I swear I saw an article where this actually happened somewhere in America a few years ago. But anyways, he grows up to be Adam Sandler. Well, He's played by Adam Sandler, and he named his kid Han Solo, but he's disappeared from his life. But Adam Sandler is a loser, and his son ended up being Andy Samberg, and he's planning a wedding with his wife, and he's got his life together. Adam needs to raise $43,000 by the end of the week, or he's getting sent to a prison because he's in debt, and he's trying to find a way of making that happen. But this TV presenter said that if he can get himself and his son to visit the prison to see his mother this weekend for filming on TV, he'll give him $50,000. So he makes up a story to his son that his mother is sick and they need to go visit her in prison before she dies. But his son doesn't want to because his wedding would be the next day after. I used to love this meme. What's up? What's up? Anyways, the boys have an absolute belter of a night for the Bucks party. And by the boys, I mean his son Han Solo and Vanilla Ice, like the rapper Vanilla Ice. So this is kind of taking like a hangover movie kind of route, considering the wedding is soon. But it's creating more of a bond between him and his son. Donnie's son agrees to go see his mother, and the TV station is there. And Donnie's son finds out straight away this is all planned, and now he's pissed off. But then Donnie finds out that his son's soon-to-be wife is cheating on him with her brother. What the fuck? But he interrupts the marriage anyway, telling his son that his soon-to-be wife is fucking her brother. And he divorces her and says his real name is Han Solo. And the actual ending to this movie is that they're watching a marathon on TV, and Donnie put a bet on the big guy running this race to win a marathon that was paying like $20,000 to 1. And he actually wins it, so he gets the money to stay out of jail, which is, yeah, super lazy writing. Plot, 8 out of 10, honestly. The plot was a cliche wedding disaster, but some of these plot twists at the end, I had my jaw on the floor. You know, I kind of liked it. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. A little bit annoying, but he's got solid character development throughout the film, and he kind of has a redemption arc. The end scene, 5 out of 10. It could have ended at the wedding, which would have been so much better, but they created this whole thing where he gets some money randomly, and that's the end of the movie. Yay, happy endings. No, I hate that. That's lazy writing. Letterboxd review. This movie is so unrealistic. None of my teachers were that hot when I was in school. Nope. I'm not going to let this one slide. 3.5 stars. Our next movie is one of Adam Sandler's biggest roles, and it's Drac in Hotel Transylvania, which released in 2012. The movie Hotel Transylvania is another animated film that features the main character as a vampire called Count Dracula, voiced by Adam Sandler, and he lives in a castle protected and lived in by monsters with his daughter Mavis. And fun fact, she's actually voiced by Selena Gomez. But then a human dude infiltrates the hotel, but Dracula transforms the human into a monster so he fits in with everyone else, because monsters are scared of humans. Pretty much, Martha's falls in love with a human boy who she doesn't think is a human boy yet. Oh, and he also happens to be voiced by Andy Samberg. There seems to be an underlying theme of this movie for like racism, I think, and embracing everyone for who they are, which is nice. Or maybe it's just a movie about monsters and vampires. Anyways, this movie ends with the daughter Mavis and her newfound boyfriend kissing, and all the monsters start singing, and they've got auto-tune in Hotel Transylvania. Score! Plot, 5 out of 10. Pretty average movie. Bit predictable. But I know it's a kid's movie, so Adam Sandler's character, 6 out of 10. Adam Sandler did a good job with Dracula's voice. The end scene, 6 out of 10. Music scene at the end went hard, not gonna lie. Only one kiss at the end, so not overly done. Letterboxd review. Talk about an all-inclusive hotel. Haha. 3 stars. Stop what you're doing, because I'm going to talk about Grown Ups 2, which released in 2013 and is a sequel to Grown Ups, the original movie. This Grown Ups movie was released 3 years after the great success of the original, and it's summertime, baby. Pretty much what's changed from the first movie is Adam Sandler's character. I forgot his name. I actually don't think I remember any of the names in Grown Ups. But his wife wants another child. This dude's got a baby. This dude actually has a son, and he looks 35. And I'm sure there's other things, but like these are the main things. And I love this scene where the mic like clips a bit when he's shouting. But some of the guys work in like a Kmart store, like a retail store. The guys that don't work in the store just kind of chill in the Kmart store anyway. And they cause so much to go on in this store. You'd think it's like FaZe Clan dudes streaming IRL in this store. Shaq is a police officer, which is awesome. I love that. How can you not like Shaq? Everybody loves Shaq. But seriously, like what kind of community do they live in? They hijacked a school bus so one of the guys can ride on top of it in a canoe while the police are escorting them, shooting the guns. Like Grown Ups 2 seems to take place in a GTA lobby. It's the guy from Twilight. And I love this bit where Eddie Murphy jumps off the cliff. Rest in peace, Cameron Boyce. It truly is sad that he's gone, but this bit really did not age well, unfortunately.
Don't tell your mother!
All right, that kid's dead.
And we've got another Andy Samberg cameo. I freaking love this guy. But they're throwing a Halloween party and there's a Kmart raft again. This party genuinely looks like what I always thought America would be like. For context, when I was younger, all I wanted to do was like send my children to college, and I wanted to go to college. I wanted to be a track athlete, and like I wanted my children to play college football and stuff. But now it's just a completely different story. I went to San Francisco last year. That place is a GTA lobby. I don't know. But I do like the Halloween parties. This secret table is also crazy. Like, do they have to hide that they're drinking beers from their daughter? Look at the rock concert that they are hosting in their backyard. I'm telling you, every Adam Sandler movie, or most of them, he plays like a character that is just super wealthy. I wonder if it's an ego thing, because I'm guessing he's casting himself in this movie. He has to be, like, under the production of like Happy Madison Productions. He has to be, man. Then the college guys crash the party and there's a massive fight that breaks out. Like, imagine this. A bunch of university kids, so let's say 18 to 22-year-olds, getting into a brawl with a bunch of fathers. What is this, a local rugby league game? People are definitely suffering lifelong injuries from this brawl at this Halloween party, man. There's no way they're not. Like, imagine this brawl just happening and you see Shaquille O'Neal disintegrate a cubby house and start walking towards you. It may be the last thing you see before you see the bright light. He disintegrated that cubby house, man. But this movie ends with everyone having dinner together. Lenny, who's Adam Sandler's character, I just remembered, tells his wife that he's happy they're having another baby, and then he burp starts. I'll let you do with that information what you will. Scoreboard. Plot, 6 out of 10. It's a bit flat. It's not as good as the first Grown Ups movie, but it was still fun. Adam Sandler's character, 8 out of 10. Same as the last Grown Ups. He just plays a great, like, family man, you know? The end scene, 6 out of 10. It's a brawl at the end, but like, what for? Seems kind of stupid. Letterboxd review. Less than 5 people suffered serious life-threatening injuries in this movie, and honestly, that is so surprising. 3.5 stars. And now we have Blended, which I'm convinced is like a sequel to Just Go With It, but this released in 2014. Much like other Adam Sandler films we've seen, this movie begins in a Hooters. Damn, I took my Hooters shirt off. And he's on a date with Drew Barrymore. It's going well, and then he says that his ex-wife left him because she has cancer, so like, left this world, like not really like left him, and then he abruptly leaves. Shaq's in this film too, so I'm guessing Adam Sandler kind of took him under his wing in like the early 2010s. Being boys with Shaq would be so sick, man. Also, it's so strange seeing Bella Thorne like this. Everyone calls her Sir, but she plays Adam Sandler's daughter in this film. Okay, so here's the go. Adam and Drew's characters in this film get a chance to take their kids on a trip to Africa, but neither of them knew each other were going, and grr, they hate each other so much. And this is definitely not going to turn into a enemies to lovers kind of ending of a movie. Definitely not. This is an Adam Sandler movie. It's Terry Crews. Also, I have noticed, I don't know why it took me so long to notice, but I've noticed that he throws his wife in most of his movies as well, like his real life wife. From now on, every time I spot his real life wife, I'm going to say something like, real life wife spotted. Bella Thorne gets a glow up and they go to have a first kiss, and oh my God, can we see that back? I don't know if the tongue of the giraffe was supposed to like go that far into this dude's mouth. Like, when I saw this, I remember going like, oh shit. Like, I gasped. This is my favorite part of the movie from memory, when Drew goes up in like the paragliding thing, I think it's called, and then the car just runs out of gas, so she's just kind of like stuck up there, slowly falling from the sky, and she just like runs really fast, hoping that her legs will like move really fast with her when she touches the ground. It's not as funny seeing this scene now, but I remember as a child I was like, oh, fail army, oh. There's a Hooters monkey. Then they get back from the holiday and Adam Sandler realizes he's actually in love with Drew Barrymore. I don't know the character's name, so I'm just calling them by their real names. I'm gonna do that a lot. But he turns up at her place and oh no, she's not there, but her ex-husband is. And then Adam shows up to Drew's kids' basketball game with his kids. So he ends up being the dad that shows up instead of her ex-husband. Who saw that coming? And then they kiss and they're gonna be together forever. We've seen this before. I am so tired. Score. Plot, 8 out of 10. I think this was better than Just Go With It, even though they're very similar. I like the characters and I think it's just a really fun family movie. Adam Sandler's character, 8 out of 10. Once again, he just plays a family man character so well, man. He executed it almost perfectly in this movie, I think. And I love the character development of like him letting go of his dead wife as well. And the end scene, also an 8 out of 10. Good ending, it's predictable, but it's nice to see the two families come together and blend, if you will. It's a good plane movie, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great movie to watch on a plane. That's actually a perfect way to describe this movie. Letterboxd review. This is literally just a sequel to Just Go With It, but it works so well. Also, Hooters monkey? 4 stars. Next up, The Cobbler, which released in 2014. This movie begins with Adam Sandler, who plays Max, working as a cobbler, which is his job in New York City. If you don't know, a cobbler is someone who like makes shoes and stuff, but this movie's off to a good start because I love movies that are filmed in New York City. Max finishes stitching together an old pair of shoes and tries the shoes on after using an old cobbling machine that his father owned in the basement of his shop after his main cobbling machine broke. And when he tried the shoes on after stitching with the old machine, he turned black. No, well, he did, but he turned into the customer that gave him the shoes to cobble. He's just discovered he's got like a magic cobbling machine, and because the customer was black. So when he finds out this, he starts to do stupid shit like steal cars and walk out of restaurants without paying the bill. But it's only working if the person's shoes he's fixing are his size, a size US 10.5. By the way, I'm a size 12 US, just saying. He puts on the shoes of a dude who's good looking, and straight away he picks up a girl and starts hooking up with this random dude's girlfriend as the random dude's boyfriend. Until he realizes he couldn't get in the shower with her because he can't take his shoes off, or he'll change back to what he was because he's taking the shoes off. Then immediately after, he steps into his dead dad's shoes so he can see him again. Oh, that's pretty wholesome. Until he goes to meet up with his mother and then goes on a date with his own mother as his father. Bro, come on. Why are you gonna be so weird with it, man? He goes on this journey as the first black dude that came into the shop and gets involved in a drug cartel, gets heaps of money, and then accidentally kills that same guy. I thought this was Freaky Friday. This isn't a kid's movie at all. There's actually a lot of gore in this movie. Then a plot twist that rivals Star Wars happened, and the guy who works next door to his cobbling shop was actually his father, who was just wearing a different pair of shoes that he fixed up. He was the original cobbler that owned the cobbler machine and put it there for him to find later in life. Huge plot twist. Oh my god. For some reason, I didn't see that coming. And like Batman, his dad's got this like bat cave of shoes that just like go on and on and on, passed down from different generations of like famous people and shit, so he can like transform into anyone he wants to. And at the end, the father is talking about how the machine was made, and halfway through the sentence, the movie ends. They just cut his voice off. Right. Okay, sick, man. Score, plot, 7 out of 10. I actually loved this movie a lot. It had a great story with great plot twists. There are just a few plot holes that don't really make any sense. Like, we don't know why the dad had to disappear. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. He played a great character. The end scene, 5 out of 10. Great plot twist, lazy ending. They may as well have just said, and it was all just a dream. Letterboxd review. Give Adam Sandler as the cobbler the remote from the movie Click, and he's basically an Avenger. 3 stars. Now we're on to a movie called Men, Women, and Children, which was released in 2014. This movie is another one of those serious Adam Sandler movies, and for some reason, whenever he's in a more serious role, it's always a sad movie. This movie starts off with Adam Sandler backing off using his son's computer. Love that. Ansel Elgort is one of the kids at a school with Timothy Chalamet. Why the fuck is Timothy Chalamet in the high school football team? And we kind of get walked through what it's like when teenagers first start using social media and how girls are sexualized. So it starts off a little dark. The main character in this movie is Ansel Elgort, who is in search of his mother who disappeared from his life. However, Adam Sandler in this movie is a little more of a side character who plays a father who's addicted to and is raising boys on his own. And all the parents in this movie are either like way too overprotective or underprotective, and it causes heaps of problems. This movie ends really fucked up. An overprotective mother takes her daughter's phone and texts her crush that she's not interested, but he's depressed, so he overdoses. Shittiest Mother of the Year award. Then it pretty much just ends. Pretty depressing movie. I watch Adam Sandler movies to feel happy, but this one made me feel like shit. Scoreboard. Plot, 6 out of 10. It was deep, but like hard to follow. Adam Sandler's character, 6 out of 10. The end scene, 5 out of 10. This movie was just trying to be something it's not, I think. It was trying to be all deep and shit, but ended up just being depressing and uninteresting to say the least. Letterboxd review. Wow, this movie was depressing. Ansel Elgort better in Baby Driver. I want to watch Baby Driver. Baby Driver better. 3 stars. What's up, gamers? The next movie is Pixels, and it was released in 2015. This movie is about video games and is set in the 80s, I'd say, because everything's pretty retro, and all the games that are popular are like arcade games, like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and the main character, Sam, is really good at all the video games, and he gets invited to the World Championships for arcade games. This guy is the current champ, and he walks in all high and mighty, but he's just not really high. He's actually very short. I don't know how he's going to even reach the sticks. A young kid loses the Donkey Kong World Champs to this small guy. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Oncoming second. That's just baller as fuck. We get our first glimpse of Adam Sandler and Kevin James 9 minutes into the movie, and it turns out these guys are the same guys at the start of the movie. They're just all grown up now. Different movie though. Anyways, skipping a few minutes to this movie, and the US military are under serious military nationwide threat when unknown objects begin to completely disintegrate people. Adam Sandler's character, Sam, is already making a move on some female character that he'll probably end up with later in this movie. Because we have to remember, guys, this is an Adam Sandler film. Sandler real life wife spotted, and Kevin James is like the fucking president in this movie. Nah, that's crazy. Imagine if Kevin James was a world leader and they're like talking about blowing up places and stuff, but pretty much the problem is these figures from the game Gallagher is destroying like entire buildings. But nah, seriously, the Taj Mahal is suffering what looks like to be an act of terror. So yeah, this movie is about video games, but like it's starting to seem pretty serious. To me, this movie seems like a way of recruiting young kids into the US military. Oh yeah, daddy, I want to fight video game figures in the army. And some American dad's like, that's great, kid, but the pixels in real life look a lot different than those. They're guys with like long beards and weird hats. Oh yeah, dad, they're called Vikings. Son, these Vikings are a little different than that. Adam's character leads in the training of the US military and in a program which consists of playing arcade games. This is where your taxpayer money is going, people. The aliens play a game of real life Centipede, which just happens to be absolutely terrifying. Also, the president just happens to be a fucking legend. And the next boss is Pac-Man, and this scene is actually badass. And the guys fighting Pac-Man are in like 4 different colored mini coupes. It looks like in Japan where you can drive in like the little go-karts and play Mario Kart on like the real streets of Japan. I want to do that one day. And Adam Sandler's entourage is dressed like the Ghostbusters. Wait, yeah, this movie's really similar to Ghostbusters now that I think about it. A team has to save the world. They've got alien killing technology. Wait a minute. Now they have to play Donkey Kong to save the world. I mean, America. But the way they animated this part of the movie, like to simulate the Donkey Kong game, is actually pretty cool. And of course, to win the game, Adam Sandler saves America by throwing the hammer from Donkey Kong at Donkey Kong's face. And then Adam Sandler kisses the girl that he was cutting to the beginning of the movie. Are you seeing a pattern yet? I'd hope so, because we are 31 movies in and it's the same ending every fucking time. Scores! Plot, 5 out of 10. As I said, this plot had like a similar plot line to the Ghostbusters movie. It's super predictable and a bit boring. Adam Sandler's character, 8 out of 10. He had a pretty fun character in this movie and he wasn't really annoying. And he trained the US Army to play video games, which is just sick. End scene, 4 out of 10. Was a good Donkey Kong boss battle, but it was just predictable and nothing special. Letterboxd review. Kevin James is the president of the United States and he's a fucking legend. The Taj Mahal is gone. Mr. President, they have hit the Taj Mahal. 3 stars. And if you're a fan of Hotel Transylvania 1, we're about to talk about Hotel Transylvania 2, which was released in 2015. Hotel Transylvania 2 begins with Drac's daughter and the human boy getting married. And remember, in this series, Dracula is Adam Sandler, Drac's daughter is Selena Gomez, and the human boy is Andy Samberg. And they're having a baby. Yay! Which seems super weird because these two characters seem like they're under the age of 18. But the birth is successful and he looks like Rumpelstiltskin. This movie is different to the first Hotel Transylvania, as this one shows normal humans assimilating with the monsters in Transylvania. There are some funny bits in this movie, but like it's mostly just a regular kids movie that portrays a dysfunctional family. And once again, it seems like there's a metaphor for like racial stuff in this movie when the grandfather gets really pissed off that his granddaughter married a human. And this movie ends with everyone singing and dancing much like the first film. Scores! Plot, 3 out of 10. Super boring plot, man. I know it's a kids movie, but it just wasn't enjoyable. Adam Sandler's character, 5 out of 10. He played the same character. The end scene, 6 out of 10. Letterboxd review. Humans and non-human species can have babies together. Maybe Shane Dawson was onto something we didn't know about previously. 2.5 stars. If you're a fan of bad movies that you'll instantly regret watching, then you're gonna love The Ridiculous Six, which is our next movie that was made in 2015. Sandler starts this movie dressed in Native American clothing because it makes him look like less of a threat, he says. But then it turns out he's actually just a white dude who's been like inducted into a Native American tribe in this movie. We're up to a confusing start, but there's his wife. Sandler, real life wife spotted. Anyway, some cowboys kidnap his dad and say they've hid $50,000 in cash somewhere and nobody can find the money. So to save his dad, he needs to come up with a way that he can find the money somehow. So he cuts his hair off and starts dressing like a cowboy to try and fit in with the regular white guys, and heads into the nearest town, and he's planning on robbing the bank to get the money so that his dad is safe. And then he meets his brother. And he finds out he's got another brother who's Taylor Lautner with a gap tooth. And guess what? He meets more people he's related to. That's why it's called the Ridiculous Six. They're all related. Anyways, at the end of the movie, he brings the Cowboys their money. Adam Sandler's character finds out that the leader of the Cowboys gang killed his mum when he was young. There's a big brawl. I'm not even kidding. This movie finishes with Adam Sandler getting married and kissing his wife and everyone dancing. Like, give me a fucking break. The movies feature the same cast and the same ending for 75% of these movies. Scoreboard. Plot, 2 out of 10. I didn't even want to talk about this movie. It was so bad. It was so boring. Adam Sandler's character, 3 out of 10. He was okay, but he's just uninteresting. The end scene, 2 out of 10. They found the dad, saved the day, married the girl, whatever. I don't fucking care anymore. Letterboxd review. Donkey has serious diarrhea problem. Not even going to autocorrect my spelling of diarrhea because I'm just going to own the fact that I don't know how to spell that. Same with restaurant. Damn it. I thought I'd actually get it that time. But yeah, bad movie, 1 star. Next up, we got The Do-Over, released in 2016. This movie begins with Adam Sandler as Max and David Spade as Charlie at a high school reunion. Max is like a detective that's kind of cool and got a fun lifestyle. And Charlie is a banker who's a loser and hates his life. Of course. This is an Adam Sandler movie. Charlie wants to start his life all over. Hence the name, maybe, The Do-Over. And Max owns a yacht, and he invited Charlie for day beers with the boys so he can stop being a freaking loser. And he shoots some girls with a flare gun. Like, he's actually the coolest dude alive. And then the boat fucking explodes. We find out why though. So Max intentionally blew up the boat so they can fake their deaths and start over again. And Max isn't a detective. He actually works a regular job, but not anymore because they are new people. Now they have new lives. I forgot how they did it. I wasn't really watching, but they found a way that they found a key that leads to some bank in Puerto Rico. So I guess they're off to Puerto Rico now. And straight away when they get to Puerto Rico, they find this big box with money and a tablet in it with another key. And then the key is for a huge mansion, of course. This movie so far was very vague. Sandler real life wife spotted. They're getting swarmed by bad guys in their new stolen life for some reason, and Adam Sandler comes to the rescue because he's such a badass. We learn that the personalities that they took over were 2 rich guys who actually discovered the cure for cancer, but people killed them, and now they're trying to kill these guys. But Max and Charlie don't know where the cure is either. Plot twist, Max actually wants to find the cure so bad on the treasure hunt because he has cancer himself. And then on the old iPad, Charlie finds a cure for the formula for cancer. And this girl who was pretending to like the guys was working on the side of the bad guys, and Charlie is unknowingly going to give her the formula and she's going to give it away for money. But Charlie bosses the fuck up in them Asics Gel Keanu sneakers. God damn it, they're so good for being agile and quick. And Max's crazy ex-girlfriend comes to the rescue, but then she accidentally throws the fucking iPad in the water. But Charlie bossed the fuck up once again, and before he got put into a coma, he actually shoved a USB drive up his asshole. Why is this like 9% on Rotten Tomatoes? I fucking love this movie. This was a great movie. Scores. Plot. 9 out of 10. I don't care what you say. This movie was a nice surprise. It was confusing at times, but it grew. It had a great plot twist and it was fun. Adam Sandler's character, 6 out of 10. It was good. He just kind of kept switching up his story and it made it confusing. The end scene, 8 out of 10. Great plot twist. Letterboxd review. You know what they say, you should never check a man's old iPad. Sometimes it'll have the cure for cancer on it. Sometimes it'll have other stuff on it. If it's really old, it could still have Flappy Bird 2, which could sell on eBay for maybe a pretty penny. You never know. 4 stars. Now we're on to Sandy Wexler, which is a movie released in 2017. This movie begins in Los Angeles in 1994, where Sandy Wexler is Adam Sandler, and he's a talent manager who's got a weird accent again.
Nice to see you again, kiddo.
The way my hair is like not working, it just goes to show my mental state throughout this video, I think. I'm not even going to try and fix it anymore. I'm just going to let it be. And he lives in a huge mansion in Bel Air, which actually looks like another house that we've seen. I think it was Billy Madison, I'm pretty sure. Sandler real life wife spotted. Anyways, Sandy Wexler hits the jackpot, talent casting this singer who happens to be really good, and she gets super famous. We find out that Sandy Wexler is like a very dysfunctional manager and can't keep up. And he leaves her because of how famous she's getting, but then she comes back to him and they kiss. Never kiss a talent manager, man. And he starts losing his talent because he's just lying all the time and he's not doing his job well. But he lands the best deal of his life with the last one of his talent who stayed, who happens to be a puppeteer for children and lands a good children's TV show. Then Sandy literally asked this girl to marry him and she said yes, but you know what they say, never marry your talent agent, and that's the end. He ended up just marrying again, dude, at the end of a movie again. Scoreboard. Plot, 6 out of 10. Adam Sandler's character, 5 out of 10. Really annoying voice. He needs to cut this shit, dude. Please. 5 out of 10 for the end scene. Overall, pretty boring movie. Letterboxd review. Never marry your talent agent. 2.5 stars. We are now on to, what's a movie? I think it's called the Meyerowitz Stories. I find this one really hard to pronounce, which came out in 2017. And this is a more like serious movie that Adam Sandler is featured in. And oh boy, are you in for it here. You thought Click was sad? Oh, this one like punches me in the heart, this movie. This movie is very different from anything we've seen Adam Sandler create ever before, which is really refreshing considering we are now in our last 10 Adam Sandler movies. Woo! Let's fucking go. This movie follows a group of siblings who make their way through adulthood while living under the shadow of their father, who was a famous sculptor. Oh my god, I love seeing these two actors together. That's so cool. Ben Stiller plays the other brother in the family who also lives in the shadow of his father, but he lives in a different city, low-key like to get away from his dad. By the way, Ben Stiller reminds me of my favorite movie, Walter Mitty. He kind of looks like my dad a little as well, but don't tell my dad that. I've said dad so many times in this video already. You know when you say a word so many times, it starts to sound weird? Dad. Also, how did they get dad from father? Why is it called dad? Anyways, the siblings are all reunited because the father is dying. Then the two brothers have a big fight and it's emotionally fueled, and it's actually some of the most passionate acting I've seen from Adam Sandler so far. And this scene from Ben Stiller is genuinely some of the best acting I think I've ever seen in my life. But the reason why the fight happened is because Ben Stiller's character agreed to sell off all the father's artwork after his death, along with all his belongings, so that the other brother and his sister would be able to live a comfortable life in terms of money, because Ben Stiller's character is very well off in this film, and surprisingly, Adam Sandler's character in this movie is not. I almost had to check that this was definitely an Adam Sandler movie because it's so different than the rest. The most emotionally tolling part of making this video so far, guys, has been like watching a movie like The Ridiculous Six, and then pretty much straight after watching a movie that makes you want to go call your parents straight after. This video has just thrown me in so many different directions. Adam Sandler's character learns to let go of his father and forgives him for inducing a life of unfulfillment, and heads to Los Angeles with his brother, and that's the end of the film. Scoreboard. Plot, 9 out of 10. I'm no movie buff, okay? This movie was a little hard to follow, but man, it made me emotional. Like, the acting from everyone in this movie is so great. And you are literally thrown off because it's nothing like any Adam Sandler movie you've ever seen ever. Adam Sandler's character, 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a perfect score. This is his most passionate character he's played yet. It's truly great to see Adam Sandler not putting on a stupid voice and really showing how good of an actor he actually is. The end scene, 7 out of 10. The ending made sense, but it was a bit of a letdown from the moments that had just happened 10 minutes prior. I felt they could have done more with this ending. Letterboxd review. Absolute cinema. I want to be friends with everyone in this movie. 4.5 stars. Then we are on to a movie called The Week Of, which was released in 2018. One of the first scenes in this movie is this old dude getting wheeled in a wheelchair out of the airport, and the way Adam Sandler's face drops when he realizes he has no legs is so funny to me. And pretty much Adam Sandler's family is setting up and preparing for a wedding for his daughter in New York where he lives. Sandler real life wife spotted, and Chris Rock is a father of the groom, and Sandler didn't accept any money from him for the wedding for some reason, even though he's like a heart surgeon and makes so much money. There's a few funny subtle bits in this movie, like when they don't have the wheelchair around, so Adam Sandler just has to kind of carry the guy with no legs around, and pretty much everything for the wedding just like keeps going wrong. Like the hotel they put everyone up in just starts leaking. Then Chris Rock pays for Psy from Gangnam Style's mansion in the Hamptons, where they just have it there. But then I'm confused because like, no, they're back in like this shitty hall where they have the wedding. Like, I don't know how weddings work. I guess they had the pre-wedding dinner at this mansion. I don't know. What's the process for a wedding? From all like the leaking, the place has an electrical fire. But then anyway, everyone goes back to Adam Sandler's little house and everyone's just happy having a party there, and it's all wholesome, and everyone's like, oh, we don't care as long as we're happy together. Did I mention the man with no legs died? Yeah, he died from being thrown into a foam pit at the bachelor party. Scoreboard. Plot, 5 out of 10. Kind of funny, boring plot, rich family, poor family come together, blah, blah, blah. We've seen it before. Adam Sandler's character, 5 out of 10. Again, just average, nothing special about this movie. The end scene, 3 out of 10. The movie felt completely dead. It was boring. I'm breezing over this movie. It was boring. Letterboxd review. The old man with no legs made this movie bearable. Imagine you're sitting in Economy Plus, and the guy with no legs is sitting next to you. Like, bro, What you paying the extra legroom for, bruh? 2 stars. If you watched the first 2 Hotel Transylvania movies and thought to yourself, man, I'd love to see another one of those where it's pretty much the same plot, just in a different location, well, you're in luck. As now we're going to be talking about Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation, released in 2018. There is technically a Hotel Transylvania 4, but Adam Sandler's only in it for like the first 5 minutes, so it doesn't count, and that makes me very happy. Pretty much this movie is different to the others because the big monster family goes on a monster vacation, and it's on a cruise ship. There's fish performers on this boat, and their rendition of Macklemore's thrift shop is just honestly great.
It's salesman's like, what up, what's your budget? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know nothing about mopeds.
Then we find out the captain of the cruise ship is pretending to be an advocate for monsters, but she's actually planning something a whole lot more sinister, and she's out to get Drac. Why am I only just now realizing that the voice actor for Dracula isn't the same as the voice actor from Gru from Despicable Me? Do they not sound literally identical? It's actually Steve Carell. I never knew that before. I thought both of them were Steve Carell. Erica, who's the captain of the ship, is low-key falling in love with Drac, and he's falling in love with her, even though she's supposed to be killing it. They arrive in Atlantis, which is a hidden city in the ocean, and we quickly find out Atlantis is just Las Vegas for monsters. Then Atlantis puts on like the EDC Festival of the Monsters universe. Dude, what time's John Summit playing? This scene reminds me of the scene in Megamind where the villain is playing the piano. I did not realize it's actually Monsters vs. Aliens movie. This scene. Bro, no way. That's crazy. But in this scene, a huge fucking squid comes out of the water, and it's actually pretty sick. Motherfuckers on TikTok be like, oh my god, this is triggering my phasmophobia and megalophobia. So this theory means that like you're scared of big objects with dubstep music playing in the background because your dad didn't love you enough as a child because he actually wanted a boy. Then the captain of the ship changes her mind and saves Drax's life, and they fall in love. If you're not Australian, you're not going to understand what I'm about to say, but like every Melbourne Namcore dude's dream happens and they have a DJ battle to save the day, except this dude's just kind of like pressing play on a Spotify playlist, and then the giant squid does a Macarena, and then everyone does a Macarena. This is such a fun ending. I love this ending. Every movie should end with a Macarena. And then I'm not even fucking kidding. I'm not even joking when I say this. He proposes to the girl. Drac proposes to the captain of the ship and they get married. Because this is an Adam Sandler film, everybody. That's so unnecessary. Imagine marrying someone after just being on a P&O cruise with them. Scoreboard. Plot. 4 out of 10. You can't tell me they weren't just like, how do we make another one of these movies to make more money? Adam Sandler's character. 6 out of 10. End scene. 7 out of 10. Bonus points to the Macarena bit, but like they ruined it with the marrying at the end, I would say. Letterboxd review. Honestly, let me put you onto this shit. Giant squid. EDC festival. Las Vegas at sea, dubstep music, the Macarena. Like, are you kidding me? 3 stars. Next up, we got Murder Mystery with Jennifer Aniston, which is a Netflix movie released in 2019. I actually haven't talked about how like difficult it was to watch a lot of the older movies that Adam Sandler featured in, just because they weren't on like any streaming services at all. But I'm like, oh, all these new movies are on Netflix, and I wondered why. It's because in 2014, Netflix signed Adam Sandler on like a lucrative deal that got extended in 2017, I'm pretty sure. So that's why a lot of his movies, including Happy Gilmore 2, are on Netflix. Adam Sandler is working for the NYPD and keeps failing his detective exam. So he kind of just lies to his wife and tells her that he's a detective for some reason. And his wife is Jennifer Aniston again in this movie, and they just go so well together. Get it? Just go with it. But it's their 15th anniversary, so he's taking her to Europe. Sandler real life wife spotted. Jennifer sneaks into the first class suite on the plane because her husband is snoring, and she meets Charles Cavendish, who happens to be some sort of rich guy who's like the son of royalty. And Sandler sees his wife chatting to this guy and goes,
There's bars on planes now.
Charles Cavendish invites him to join his extended family on a boat traveling around Monaco. And like, honestly, even if there was a 50% chance that I'm going to get thrown overboard on this ship, I'm taking those odds. This thing is absolutely beautiful. So already this setting is perfect for an Adam Sandler movie, man. We have rich people, poor people interacting. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a plot line. And this is the rich billionaire father, and he sees Adam and Jennifer, and he's like, who the fuck are you guys? Which is my worst nightmare. I hate feeling like I'm out of place anywhere. But anyways, the billionaire father basically says all of his children are leeches, and he doesn't like them. So his entire will is therefore going to his new girlfriend, Susie. And all he has to do is sign the will, but then the lights turn off, and there's a gunshot. The father is dead. We have a murder mystery on our hands. I love murder mystery movies so much, man. Again, they make great plane movies. And then another gunshot goes off later in the night, and one of their sons is dead just as they're coming into the port of Monaco. And we meet the lead detective on this case. The Monaco Grand Prix is on while they're in Monaco, which is cool because I'm an F1 fan. I know I've got a Red Bull posted just there, but I'm actually a McLaren fan. I don't want to spoil what happens to the rest of the movie because it's genuinely a good movie. Like, it's a very enjoyable movie to watch. So in case you haven't seen it, go watch it. I'm not even going to spoil it for you. Plot, 8 out of 10. Love this plot. Even though it's a little cliche, they kind of like kept it interesting. Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. He was good, but like for some reason this movie's energy was a bit off, I found. The end scene, 8 out of 10. There was like 2 plot twists at the end, which I love. I'm a sucker for a plot twist. Letterboxd review. Honestly, not even going to ruin this one for you. You should just watch it. They have bars on planes now. 4 stars. The next movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. I have seen it before. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're on to Uncut Gems, released in 2019. This is another movie based in New York City, which is just one of the many reasons why I love this movie so much. This movie starts in a rush, and it's literally anxiety-inducing the whole way through. But Adam Sandler runs a jewelry shop with high-end clients, and Kevin Garnett, who plays in a basketball team, Boston Celtics, is in the shop looking around. And it seemed like Sandler kind of already owes people money because he's already getting threats. Oh, and Julia Fox works in the shop too and is also his mistress. Pretty much he imports this like uncut gem, hence the title of the movie, and Kevin Garnett really connects with this gem and he wants to keep it overnight, but it's worth millions, and he tells him to give it back tomorrow morning, and Kevin's like, yeah man, bet, sure thing, no worries. A lot of shit happens. I don't even want to spoil it for you. This is just such a great movie that makes you, again, if a movie can make you feel a certain way, it's a great movie. And this movie made me want to like curl up in a ball the entire time I was watching it. I've got notes on this whole movie. I'm actually not going to tell you any of it. I want you to go watch this movie yourself. It is so worth it, I can guarantee, okay? So I'm just going to get straight to the scoreboard. Plot, 10. Adam Sandler's character, 10. End scene. Oh my fucking god. This end scene, it's a 10. It's a perfect score. Guys, this end scene in this movie will have you like, what's the word? Gag. That's all I have to say about it. Letterboxd review. I'm so anxious right now. I'm going to bet on the footy tonight. 5 stars. Once again, the worst part about making this video is watching a true cinematic masterpiece and then having to watch something that's an absolute huge waste of time straight after. That's because our next movie, ladies and gentlemen, is Hubie Halloween, released in 2020. This movie was released at the start of COVID, which is funny because this movie is just a giant plague. Did I kind of cook on that one, or was that weird? It plagued my brain, I guess, this movie. This movie is a Halloween movie. Yeah, no shit. And Adam Sandler plays the character Hubie. And we start with Ben Stiller playing a character that the Adam Sandler cinematic universe has brought back, the nurse from Happy Gilmore. I love it when they bring back characters from old movies, but my joy is quickly spoiled by the sound of Adam Sandler doing one of his stupid
fucking voices again.
Get out of here! What does that add to the plot? I hate it. I bet he just starts doing it on set when he walks into a movie. Like, they have not scripted him to do a weird voice, and he just starts doing it, and he's like, I'm not doing the movie unless I can do a funny voice. Oh my god, it's a screaming goat sound. YouTube OGs, you will know this scream. When I was in primary school, this was the funniest shit. Oh, and here we go again with the same cast as always. This is infuriating after watching 40 Adam Sandler movies, is seeing the same fucking actors in every movie. A wild Noah Schnapp spotted. He's actually DM'd me once, but it's not a big deal, honestly. Don't ask me about it. It's not a big deal. Sandler real life wife spotted. Oh, and Kevin James is the detective in this town, which is funny because he plays the detective in a movie called Mall Cop. I love that movie. It's a funny movie. For some reason, Hubie has like a water bottle that doubles as everything in the Fortnite item shop. And pretty much in this movie, Hubie is a Halloween monitor where he goes around and makes sure kids aren't taking too much candy from each house. And now his water bottle is a power drill. But shit starts getting real when people are actually being kidnapped in the town. And I can't actually tell if this is a kid's movie or an adult movie. It seems very in between. And it turns out, plot twist, the kidnapper is Hubie's mother. And she's trying to burn them all alive. This may be one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. But he saves the day, and that's the movie. What a big waste of time. And guess what? You will not fucking guess. Even though he acts disabled and puts on a stupid voice in this movie, he still ends up hooking up and kissing the hottest girl in the town and then marries her. Scoreboard. Plot, 3 out of 10. This was stupid, but there were a couple of funny bits in this movie. Adam Sandler's character, 1 out of 10. The end scene, 3 out of 10. Ending sucks, but at least it wasn't predictable. Letterboxd review. Adam Sandler better not make another stupid fucking movie with a stupid voice ever again. I am so sick of hearing these shitty voices he does for no reason. Like, what does it add to the plot? Nobody is laughing any harder because you have a weird voice. Save me. 1 star. Buckle up, because we're about to do that thing again where you go from watching an absolute cinematic nightmare to watching an emotionally great film. Like our next movie called Hustle, released in 2022. And fun fact, this movie was co-produced by LeBron James. I'm guessing that means he just threw a lot of money at this film and called it a day, but Who knows? I'm not going to do that research. You can. In this movie, Adam Sandler is a talent scout for the NBA, more specifically the Philadelphia 76ers, traveling around the world, scouting players from different leagues, and then he gets promoted to assistant coach for the 76ers. But then shortly after, his boss, the head coach of the Sixers, passes away. So the boss's son, the new boss, demotes him back to a scout and says if he can find the new star player, he can be a coach again. The new boss is an absolute... Anyways, he tracks this guy down from Spain who plays in like a street league, and Sandler's making it his mission to bring him back to play for Philly. And he believes in this guy so much that Adam Sandler quits his job at Philly to be a solo scouter and work on this Spanish dude. Side note, I do love a good training montage that makes you feel like you need to get up and go to the gym when you finish watching the movie. Like, I love walking out of the cinema after watching like Rocky or something, like a boxing film or like a sport film, and being like, yeah, you just feel like G'd up. Of course, they have some complications, like this guy from Spain has a criminal record that he didn't mention, and that makes it harder to get him to play in the Combine, which is where they recruit NBA players and stuff like that. But then he ends up getting into the Combine anyway, because he's just really good. And it's a really nice, wholesome ending where Adam Sandler gets his job back at the 76ers, and the guy got out of the Combine and is playing in the NBA with the Boston Celtics. I'm not going to get into detail with this movie because, once again, I really do recommend that you just go watch it. It's a really nice, wholesome movie that makes you feel good. Scoreboard, plot. 10 out of 10. It's really nice to see some great Adam Sandler movies at the end of the series. Adam Sandler's character, 8 out of 10. The end scene, 9 out of 10. Super wholesome, obviously a little predictable, but it's a nice ending and I definitely recommend this movie. Letterboxd, a review. I need to go to the gym. I feel better now after watching this because Hubie Halloween almost made me put a fist through my TV, and I love my TV. I bought a big TV too, so I would have been freaking pissed. 4.5 stars. Ever wanted to see the same movie again, but like just made kind of worse and in a different setting, like location? Well, I'm not talking about Hotel Transylvania this time. I'm talking about Murder Mystery 2. Nick and Audrey, after the first movie, has started their own private investigation business. Reminder, Nick is Adam Sandler and Audrey is Jennifer Aniston. And one of their rich friends that they were on a boat with, the Meyerowitz or whatever his name is getting married on a private island this weekend, and both of them are invited. Sound familiar? And just like the yacht from the first movie, this island is absolutely beautiful, and it kind of reminds you of The White Lotus. You know that TV series that each season has a different murder mystery in a luxury location? Yeah. Wait. This movie is actually very similar to White Lotus now I think about it. And this wedding looks absolutely insane. Like, it's pure bonkers. But pretty much someone gets murdered on an elephant, and then the groom is nowhere to be seen. And then we see that the groom, Vic, has been kidnapped, and the kidnappers drive off on a boat off the private island. And then the real detectives arrive. Oh, it's the guy from Kingsman. And this guy pretty much says the same thing from the first movie. Oh, Nick and Audrey are actually the prime suspects because they're the odd ones out. Blah, blah, blah. Same plot, different location. And then they take the Meyerowitz to Paris, and everyone goes to Paris to continue the investigation, and the guys are asking for like $70 million to get the Meyerowitz back. Compared to the first murder mystery movie, this one is very boring, and at times it doesn't even make any sense. The main detective turns out to be the bad guy, but then he says, finish off the others.
Finish off the others.
What kind of detective are you? A freaky detective? But Nick and Audrey save the day, yay, who cares? Scoreboard, plot, 4 out of 10. Adam Sandler's character, 4 out of 10. Same dude, nothing's changed, boring. The end scene, 2 out of 10. This is why some movies should never have sequels. Letterboxd review. But like, seriously, what did the guy from Kingsman mean by finish off the others? Like, he didn't really clear up what he meant by that now, and it's like, well, what did they actually do to the others, you know? Like, it's kind of insinuating that they could be alive and they just enjoyed themselves, you know? That's the real mystery of this movie. 1.5 stars. Our second last movie of this video is called Leo, released only in 2023, and it's an animated kids movie that is also a musical. Of course, right? Of course, right? The second last movie I've come this far, and I've got to watch a fucking animated musical that's a kids movie. And Adam Sandler voices the 74-year-old lizard named Leo. The plot of this movie is basically Leo and his best friend, who's a turtle, voiced by Bill Burr, decide to escape their classroom fish tank where they have been living their whole lives. And oh, just to make this even better, Adam Sandler's putting on a weird voice again, by the way.
Man, that smells good.
The classroom Leo is living in involves a teacher who is taking the year off because she's having a baby, so the class is getting a substitute teacher. And the funny part about this is that the kids start planning on how they're gonna mess with the substitute teacher, which reminds me when I was in the 9th grade and my class made our drama teacher cry because one of the kids in our class had a lunchbox with like a Bluetooth speaker built into it. So he would place it each time in a different location around the classroom and start playing random sounds on it so that the teacher would ask, what's that sound? And we would be like, miss, like, what sound are you talking about? So we'd convince her that she's going crazy until she started crying. She was also going through a divorce at this time, so she ended up quitting. Teachers deserve better pay. Pretty much, Leo gets kidnapped and left in a forest, and then a bunch of animals help him find his home again after the kids on a field trip go looking for him. And then he ends up back in the classroom and just has like a new gratefulness that he's around the people he loves, who are the kids in the classroom. Scoreboard! Plot, 5 out of 10. It's a kid's movie. Adam Sandler's character, 6 out of 10. Annoying voice, but like it fits well with the lizard he's playing. Whatever, I don't want to admit it, but it fits well. The end scene, 6 out of 10. Wholesome ending, kind of predictable. Letterboxd review. Teachers deserve more pay, 3 stars. Finally, we're at our last movie, and it's his most recent movie. It's called Spaceman, released in 2024. In this movie, Adam Sandler is a spaceman, but he's all alone in this ship, and it's already getting pretty deep when Adam's wife tries to send a message that she's leaving him. But the US Space Headquarters don't want that message getting to him because it'll ruin the mission potentially. And then he starts seeing this huge fucking spider roaming around. We don't know if it's a figure of his imagination or a real spider yet, but either way, it's absolutely terrifying. But as the story progresses, we see Adam getting closer with the spider as he feeds him and starts talking to him. And it's actually kind of sad because he keeps having these visions of seeing his wife. He's just all lonely with the spider, and he pretty much just regrets leaving his wife ever and just wants to go back and see her again. Kind of reminds me of the Interstellar plot. And I'm also kind of reminded, I've talked a lot about Interstellar. Anyways, his mission is pretty much to collect some samples from space, like space gas and stuff. And I don't mean farts in space. And during this process, his spider friend starts fading away. But this place is like magical, by the way. I love space so much, and like the vastness of space, and these visuals are just like awesome, honestly. But then the spider friend dies and Adam is sad again. Much like Interstellar though, he's rescued by another ship that comes to save him, but he's finally able to talk to his wife when he's saved by, I think it's like a Korean vessel he got saved by. And this scene pretty much insinuates that he does get back with his wife, and it ends all happy and wholesome, honestly. Scoreboard. Plot, 8 out of 10. It was a cool plot. I just think it's a little confusing at times. Like, I still don't know if that spider was real or not. I'm not gonna look into it though, because this is the last movie that I watched. Maybe I'm also dumb. I feel dumber after watching all these movies. You know what everyone's asked me when I say I'm doing all the Adam Sandler movies? They go, why would you pick Adam Sandler out of anyone? And I don't even know the answer to that. Anyway, Adam Sandler's character, 7 out of 10. Great character. The end scene, 7 out of 10. Super wholesome ending. It ended very abruptly. I would have loved to see it get stretched out a little more. Letterboxd review. Watch this movie smiling, not because I was enjoying it, but because it was the 45th out of 45 Adam Sandler movies that I've seen this month. I am a happy man. This movie was like a shittier Interstellar, by the way. 3.5 stars. And now, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, we have finished. Guys, we've finished it. We did all 45 Adam Sandler movies. Oh, I'm so happy. This is the biggest achievement ever. I've been recording for 3.5 hours. For your official ranking of every Adam Sandler movie ever made, here it is. I will put it on the screen for you guys. If you disagree with me, fuck you. I actually don't care. This is my opinion. I don't care. Uncut Gems is officially the best Adam Sandler movie in my opinion. And the worst, obviously, is Going Overboard, the first movie he ever made. A lot of these movies do kind of fit into like that 2.5 to 3.5 star kind of range, which just goes to show he's like consistent in making average movies. Which is fine. I love watching average movies, to be honest, so that's great. But now I think it's fair to say that I am fully prepared for when Happy Gilmore 2 comes out this year. I hope that maybe now you are too. Thanks for watching, guys. This is by far the longest video I've ever made. I am tired. I watched all these movies in about 3.5 weeks. Was it all worth it in the end? I think so. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're still here sticking around for this, I really appreciate it. Let me know if I should do another one of these in like a different actor, maybe. I don't know. Let me know. But thanks again so much, guys. I love you all. I'll see you soon.